Very soon we're going to be opening Mass to the public again. And as we do so, we're going to be moving away from the schedule we've been doing for the past few weeks with morning prayer at 8 a.m. and rosary at 7 p.m. But we want to equip you with the resources necessary to carry on these devotions with you at home. With Liturgy of the Hours, it can be a little daunting at first to pray it because it requires a lot of flipping. If you're using the apps that we'll have in the description below this video on YouTube, it's very easy. All you have to do is really scroll. You have all the hours available to you at any given day. However, there are cons or setbacks to using the app. For instance, like yesterday, we did the celebration of the dedication of the church for Holy Family, our cathedral in the diocese, and that wouldn't have it on the app. They're using the set universal calendar, so any local celebrations we may be having, they wouldn't have that on the app. But the app can be useful in many instances. If you want to use the full 4-volume set, you can see them right here. Quite hefty in size, and it's a 4-volume set comprising of the different liturgical seasons, beginning with Advent and Christmas, Volume 1. Ordinary Time is set into 2 volumes because it's such a lengthy season, and then Easter and Lent as well, which we're using currently. The setback is that it can be quite costly. Even when I entered seminary, I bought these piecemeal because I couldn't afford them at this one time. However, they are essential for any priest or deacon praying the Liturgy of the Hours. They have the full prayers of the church, and you can jump around to celebrate the local holidays that we may be celebrating. There is a Christian prayer volume, which is not before us right here, but it looks very similar to a 1-volume set of the Liturgy of the Hours. So it looks usually red, it says Christian prayer, and it has most of the hours on there. There's hymns in the back that you can get familiar with, but again, it doesn't have all the prayers of the church there. And then there's even the shorter Christian prayer, which usually just has the morning prayer and evening prayer in there. Excellent entry point for beginners, and the prayers that we say at the beginning, or the end of morning prayer and evening prayer, are conveniently located on the inside cover. The canticle for Zechariah here, the canticle for Mary for evening prayer right here. Many of you are familiar with the Magnificat or Our Daily Bread, which has even an abbreviated form of the morning prayer and evening prayer there. But if you've been following Father O'Brien and I in recent weeks, it's certainly a beautiful prayer to get acquainted with. Liturgy of the Hours is an ancient practice going back to the early Christian period with the monastics tradition of praying the Psalms, which was even a Jewish tradition prior to Christianity. And it's really an extension of the Mass. It's calling to mind that central point of our faith, to pray always, as Paul exhorts us in his epistles, to call to mind the great words given to us by God. The Psalms are beautiful poems composed to express every human emotion. Oftentimes we fall silent in prayer, we just don't know what to say. The Psalms can be a great launching point for those prayers that we just don't have the words for. Jesus himself was very familiar with the Psalms. He'd even prayed them regularly himself, even so much on the cross. Psalm 22, my God, why have you forsaken me?" is the psalm that he prayed right before he died. And so as Christians, as his disciples, we should be familiar with the same prayers that Jesus knew and loved. And so I invite you in the coming weeks to kind of continue to join us, get familiar with praying the morning prayer and evening prayer, and perhaps the other hours as well, to be one with the great seasons of the church, the feasts and solemnities that we celebrate. But it's also a great point to call to mind the great center point of our faith, the Mass, the Eucharist. It's great to pray with the great rhythm the Church sets before us with her liturgical calendar. So if you have any questions, you can shoot them to me, Father Robert, or Father O'Brien. You can find great resources in the description below, the different apps we use. I use iBreviary. There's others, though, at your disposal. There's the 4-volume Liturgy of the Hours set, Christian prayer, shorter Christian prayer, and even some information about the history and tradition of praying the Liturgy of the Hours. So look forward to having you pray with us, even if it is not over live streaming. We're all united as one mystical body with Christ as our head. Thank you very much, and God bless you.